Hey guys, welcome to Chronicles of a Therapist. I am the host and the podcaster, Cassandra Shepard. So I kind of wanted to start today's episode with something kind of heavy. So I guess this will be a trigger warning just because it is impactful and it might be traumatic. So recently, and now I won't even say recently like it hasn't happened forever, but there was another school shooting. And I think it's important to talk about that. Ironically, the first thing I thought about was like the very first one that I guess was big for me was Columbine in 1999. And so I went on this deep dive of how often or how many of these shootings have happened. And when I saw the number, I was like, oh my God. So I just kind of did a short deep dive through Washington Post. And since 1999, there has been 417 school shootings. That is crazy. So, and what was most interesting, I'm not going to go through the entire article, but 383,000 children and young people have been affected by school shootings. And so, just thinking about that, I just remember where I was when Columbine happened, and I was in high school. I was a freshman, and it was like terrifying because guess what? It happened in a high school. You're in a high school. So you immediately triggered with who in my school could do this, right? And so the real reason outside of that being shocking and traumatizing, the new thing that I actually saw on TikTok and something similar that we do at one of my jobs at the school that I work at, a charter school, is kids turning in their phones. And so they have these pouches called Yonder cases. And they basically like, you put your phone in and you have to, there's a little ring, which is probably like a magnet. That's the only way you can open these indestructible cases. So the idea is you get your pouch, you got to put it in, you can't have your phone, you can't have access to them. So I guess I could say the implications with that, there are many. What if there is a school shooting? A lot of parents, a lot of parents are fearful because if you've ever worked in the school, obviously been to your kid's school, as much as there's security guard or officers, most schools have officers and metal detectors and all of these different things to attempt to try. There's always loopholes. And ironically, most of the kids that go to the school know the loopholes. And in real life, I don't know why we're not talking to the kids about how to make the school safe because kids be real smart. Like, even if you go back to your middle school, high school days, my high school, we also had metal detectors, but we all knew that it was that one door that was unlocked that nobody told the adults about. So you can kind of go in and out and cut nobody. And this is in 99. So I'm positive, and we didn't have phones like they have phones now. So I understand the complete implications of taking children's phones because the reality, these generations are absolutely addicted to screens, to phones, to social media, to being connected, and they lack the ability to, and I know I've talked about this, going outside to play and the benefit of being able to actually interact with young people face to face, real time versus behind the screen and being fake or whatever. But I understand why, because like at my school, we collect cell phones. Now, granted, we have, I believe, 100 children K through 12 at my school. It's very, very small. And because it's small, we are able to really, really hone in and know what's going on. Anytime a door opens, it's a chime. One of the admin, we own it. So we have an officer in the building. But we also work with kids who are on the spectrum, have ADHD, have emotional issues. So for us, our kids are academically further behind, and most of them, if they had their phones, they struggling now. So from somebody who works in the school, I understand the purpose or the reasoning. I was talking to a friend who was saying how, I think she said so basically her friend's friend daughter was at a high school. She has an anxiety disorder. And guess what? They were on a lockdown because somebody brought a gun into school. What's interesting is the mom walks in, gets buzzed in, walks. If the school is on lockdown, usually that means nobody's coming in, nobody's going out. So the fact that her daughter was texting her when she got in the car, like, oh, the school's on lockdown, somebody allegedly has a gun. And she's like, bro, I just dropped your bag off in the front office. What do you mean? This is why parents are stressed about their kids' phones being taken. So while kids feel like, oh, you guys are trying to control us, the reality on some levels, those of us who grew up without cell phones, I mean, we had pagers. So, your pager go off, you look at it and you're like, okay, I guess I'll call. I know, you know what I mean? So it's not an impossible, but if we look at society and how things are, more school shootings have happened because guns are more accessible. And I'm going to just throw this out here. I believe that because of Call of Duty, GTA, these games that kids, now we all know it says TV, like you're not even supposed to really play it. Like when I heard a fourth grader telling me like, yeah, hold on, sir, wait a minute. You can't even write. Literally, you cannot write. So the fact that you're playing Call of Duty and you're 4 tells me that your idea of reality, because you don't understand that a gun could probably really kill somebody because you've been playing video games, right? So there's an understanding as to why school shootings have increased, because not every parent is monitoring their kids on the games. Not every parent is like, all right, you only get 4 hours of screen time or whatever. Like, I realize I'm ridiculous, and I know that how I was raised, I don't really believe you should have screen time until the weekend. Because in real life, like if you're a school age kid, like you're in school, you come home, you take a nap, you got chores or homework. By the time you need to be doing screen time, you need to be getting ready to go to bed. Like I said, I can be ridiculous. I do not believe that you should. But I also understand that kids are struggling. They don't know how to regulate their emotions, and they use their electronics to do so. I mean, how many of us, I've talked about it, how many of us adults use music, use decompressing on a video game, listen, like scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like, so the hard thing is we do it as an adults. Now, granted, just because adults do it doesn't mean kids should. But if you look at it, our kids are following what we do. So if dad's a gamer, and dad definitely don't want me to be on his gaming device, so guess what dad's going to do? I'm going to buy you your own because I don't want you messing up nothing on my stuff. Now, granted, this is not even throwing shade, because the way I understand how kids be in your stuff and messing up stuff that y'all not even, why are you even touching that? So I get it. I definitely understand the line of thinking. This is my decompress. You don't go to work. You're not paying bills. Y'all are getting on my nerves, actually. I actually would like you guys to go in your room and leave me alone for an hour because I just get off of work. So I say that, like, I get it, but I think, how do we as adults help? How do we help our kids, like, learn how to regulate, learn how to say, man, I had a crazy day at school. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. Something's going on with my friends. Can we have this conversation? And not like, my mom, ridiculous, a little bit, a lot. Every day, my mom, how was your day? Good. Well, what made it good? Oh, my God, I literally just walked in the door, Mom. But in her defense, as annoying as that was from middle school to high school, I appreciate it as an adult because it forced me to think. Any of you guys who have middle schoolers or high schoolers, you really be thinking your kids slow, because the I don't know and the shoulder shrugs, like, I know you got a brain, because the way you talk on the game and with your friends, it's there. Why can't we have? So I understand why my parents did that. Both of my parents actually did it. But in our society, I'm going to go ahead and say, and I've talked about this, our parents did a real good job of hiding how stressed they were. Like, I think everybody had a level of struggle, but I feel like our parents, they probably were struggling like we are, but like they hid it well. And I don't know if they was just in their room crying or what was going on, but like they didn't seem as stressed as we are. And I don't know why. And not to say like good, bad, and different. Even the parents who had it together or didn't have it together, there was still a level of, I'm an adult and I'm a hold something together. Struggles or no struggles, I'm a hold it. So my kids, so then you become an adult. All of us then became adults and was like, so nobody prepared me at all. There's no preparation for this. So this is why the majority of us drink, do drugs, gamble, party, eat, fill in the blank of all the things, all the vices that we have. So I think that our kids seeing these things have allowed them to not have a real sense of what reality is. So you talk about, I remember my niece is 11. I remember she had to be 6. And she said, Auntie, I'm just so stressed out. I said, what? You're 6. Help me understand how we're stressed. Like, what at 6 years old is stressing you out to the point that you're talking to me tearful? Like 6? I just need to know why you're so stressed. So my conclusion and what I believe is going on with our young people is they don't, which I said, they don't know how to regulate their emotions. They don't have spaces to work through certain things. Like they don't, whether they don't have a therapist, they don't have a case manager, they don't have certain things. So they are missing the ability to problem solve. They're missing the ability to work through stuff that some of us, we might not have done it well, but we figured a lot of stuff out. Like it was a grind. It was like, yeah, you can't let them see you sweat. I might be stressed. I might bottle everything up, but I'm gonna still go to work. I'm gonna still go to school. I'm gonna still figure it out. And our kids in this generation, they don't have it. It could be because of social media and electronics. I tend to believe so. But it could just be we're more stressed. And if we're more stressed and we don't have great coping strategies to explain to our kids, I've had a really, really rough day and it has nothing to do with you, but you got to just give me a minute. Like you got to let me go take a shower before you need help with homework and I got to take you to football practice and you to work and you got to give me a second because if you don't give me a second, I might cuss you out when you ask me to do stuff. Like, I think as adults, we have to learn how to model that. But as I've said before, if we don't do the work of being able to identify what the heck is going on with us, there's no way we can teach our kids that. I have toddlers in my life and I love them to death. They're twins. They're 3. It's a lot. But I model, tell me about your day. I had a bad day. Well, what made your day bad? So I have these dialogues with them. I've done this with my nieces and nephews as well, because what I'm teaching them is how to communicate what they're thinking and feeling and putting things together. Because if you know, whether it's you or your daycare provider, your kids come home and be saying, I'm angry. Who told you that? Because we never talked about emotions. Why are you telling me at 3 that you're angry? Because it doesn't make sense why we're angry right now. But as the adults in our life, we have to model. Tell me why you're angry. Are you sure that you're angry or were you frustrated? Did that hurt your feelings? Like we have to model that with our kids so that they know how to give words to what's going on the inside so they don't like go inside and then consequently become upset at everybody and then want to bring a gun to school. So I think I would never say that it's just the parents' fault, but we all know this takes a village. It takes a village to raise a kid. And so if you don't have a village, maybe you're not good at it, but it could be a teacher. It could be a coach. It could be somebody else in that kid's life who can learn how to unlock them. And as a parent, it looks like baby girl might have some anxiety. We might need to get you some therapy. Yeah, let me go see what's on my insurance or Medicare or whatever. As parents and as adults, it's our job to attempt. Now, granted, like I said, being an adult is real ghetto. It's real ghetto. It's real stressful. And there are all days where you be like, I just want everybody to shut up and leave me alone, right? But I will position to every parent, every bonus parent, every auntie, uncle, grandparent, you raising kids, you got kids in your life. Kids never decided to be there. And so we have to learn as adults to take a minute, recoup, and you still have to pour into your kids because who else is going to do it? Like if you think about whatever kid you got in your life and how their brain isn't developed and how ridiculous they are. Like, kids do stuff like, oh, I threw all the dishes away because they were dirty. So if you leave kids who think like that alone around rest of them to decide and model, we are in for a rude awakening. Like, so I just want to encourage parents and adults, like, the reason these things happen with kids is we have to model these things. We have to find ways to model. Absolutely love that my niece who I was talking about, I'm going to see her in a couple of weeks, and she's so excited because she knows my auntie's coming and my auntie's going to talk to me because I've talked to her since she was born. Like, yes, you're a 1-year-old. I don't really want to talk to you about whatever your 1-year-old mind, but I need you to know that you're important. And not that my sister doesn't do it. My sister's just different. My sister is her mom. My sister is trying to figure out how to raise her, how to make sure she got this, that. So being an aunt who can step into that role and talk to them and have conversations and figure out what's going on sometimes can be a secret weapon. So I would encourage all the adults, whoever is in your kid's life, to make time to get to know them and spend time with them so that you know for sure what they're pouring into your kids. Because that coach might be great, but that coach might be pouring in some stuff that you like, yeah, no, we don't like that. We don't want that. We don't want that. So, I will say that's the message today. Just making sure to take time to decompress and be a model, like pour into your kids and the kids in your life as much as possible. Even me, like I work at a school, and a lot of my teenagers at my school get on my nerves often, but they know that I'm a safe person. So whatever I need to do to help you advocate for yourself and have hard conversations with your parents, that's my job, and it's cool. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for listening. You guys can catch me on Instagram, CNN_Chronicles, and tap in with me there. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys later.